Dan is having technical difficulties. We begin with a great story from the Pirates and White Sox. Lucas Giolito, 2-2 on the season with a .389 ERA. Giolito took a no-hitter into the 7th. Ryan Reynolds flares one up the middle, but Tim Anderson makes a great play to get him at first. Nice scoop from Jose Abreu to keep the no-no intact. Giolito would get out of the inning unscathed. Then with 2 outs in the 8th, Giolito gets Cole Tucker to chase the pitch well off the plate. He's now 3 outs away from the White Sox first no-hitter since Phil Humber in 2012. During the next half inning, Giolito coming out for the 9th with 3 outs to go, sitting on 89 pitches. First up, Gerard Dyson.
2-2.
Giolito gets him with a nasty changeup. 2 outs to go. Next batter is pinch hitter Jose Ozuna. Ozuna hits one into foul ground. Adam Engel giving chase, settles under it, makes the catch. Giolito now 1 out away. He needs to put away Eric Gonzalez to finish off the game of his life.
Nobody's here to watch, but everyone at home has their hearts in their throats. On 0-2 to right field, Adam Engel is there! A no-hitter! The 19th in White Sox history!
Man, that was not an easy catch either. Giolito throws the first no-hitter of the 2020 season. He's also the first ever White Sox pitcher to record 10 strikeouts when throwing a no-no. A memorable night for the pitcher as the White Sox win it 4-0.
And fun fact, his mom used to be on As the World Turns in the 80s.
How do you know that?
Research. Welcome to SportsCenter with Dan Dan, brought to you by McDonald's. Jay's on vacation, so Natasha's here all week.
I'm here, and we are going to turn to some hockey now. The Canucks, man, they got thumped in Game 1 against the Golden Knights. We were expecting a much better effort from Vancouver, and we got it. We found out what this team is made of.
That's right, because of an addition to the Canucks lineup. And that would be Tyler Toffoli, back in the lineup for the first time since August 2nd. He was out with a lower body injury less than 2 minutes into the game. It was Pettersson streaking down the wing, perhaps around the net, and sets up Toffoli. What? That was Toffoli's first shift of the game. Stepped on the ice, headed straight to the net, gets his 10th career postseason goal 9 seconds into his very first shift in the bubble. Still early in the period. Toffoli to Pettersson. Stopped by Robin Leonard. Shea Theodore, messed up the shot attempt. He helped stop that. Midway through the frame, Canucks power play. Pettersson to Toffoli. Sets up Bo Horvat in front. Records his first point in 5 games. 2-0 Canucks through 1. This despite the fact that Vegas outplayed them so badly in that first game. Midway through the second, Theodore flips it ahead to Nick Waugh. Alex Tuck catches up and scores. That's his 6th of the playoffs. He scored in Game 1 of the series as well. Same period, it was all Vegas in the second. Pettersson picks up a loose puck, goes wide of Theodore, and crossbar. Less than 2 minutes left in the second.
But he struggled throughout that shift. Had to stay out there for long.
In front, Pettersson scores! What a finish, and what a pass from Alex Edler.
The living legend Chris Cuthbert on the call. Pettersson's 5th goal this postseason. He has points in all 3 Canuck goals through 2 periods. 3-1 Canucks through 2, despite being so badly outplayed in the second. First minute of the third. Brock Besser to Horvat. He's got a second of the game. Wow. Canucks with a statement in Game 2 as they lead it 4-1 with just under 8 minutes to go in the third. As I said, the second period, Vegas had 48 shot attempts in the second. 22 of them were on net. Yet Vancouver escaped with the lead from that period. What was that, Producer Tim? Oh, okay. He was just informing me of something that had nothing to do with the stats of this game. Pettersson is now 2nd in playoff scoring, trailing only Nate McKinnon. And Horvat mentioned he snapped that 5-game goalless drought. Now he's had 3 2-goal games in these playoffs. That's unreal. Game 3, Thursday night in the Edmonton bubble. Tampa and Boston played Game 2 in the Toronto bubble Tuesday night. Imagine hearing that sentence a year ago. It would make no sense. Anyway, when you think Boston-Tampa and who has been better in recent years, you think the Bruins, right? Incorrect. Since the 2013-2014 season, both teams have a cup final to their credit, but Tampa also has 2 other conference final appearances. To the Bruins, none. Okay. Game 2, first period. Zach Bogosian's stick shatters at the line. Bruins 2-on-1. Anders York misses the net. And then the Bruins just start flailing away at a loose puck. And Nick Ritchie gets credit for a goal. Yep, there it is. Sneaked under. John Cooper is not happy. He was not happy all games. Bruins up 1-0. Moments later, Braden Coburn sends it on net. Tipped in by Barclay Goodrow. Bolts think they've tied it. Bruins challenge for offside. Braden Point, skating very casually back to the bench, was unable to clear the zone. After review,
there was offside on the play, therefore no goal.
no goal. Cooper loses it. But a couple of bad breaks for Tampa early. Yeah. By the way, Boston won Game 1, if I didn't mention that. Bogosian goes end-to-end, feeds Blake Coleman. What a goal! Dives and puts it past Yaroslav Halak. What an effort by Bogosian and Coleman. Game is tied at 1 after 20 minutes. This was a fast-paced affair. Second period, Bruins power play. David Pastrnak spots Brad Marchand, side of the net, goes in off his skate. Pastrnak and Marchand are 1-2 in most playoff points since 2018. Third period, tied at 2. Victor Hedman springs Coleman. He partially fans on it, but it goes through Halak for his second of the game. Tampa has their first lead of the series. 4 minutes to go in the third. Pastrnak creates a turnover, feeds Sean Kuraly to Marchand. He's got his 29th career multi-point playoff game, and this game's tied, and we're going to overtime. We're less than 5 minutes into the extra session. Halak is the hero as the Lightning tie the series at a game apiece.
A couple of nights ago, Jamal Murray went off for a franchise playoff record 50 points, which is a nice personal record, but not enough to help his Nuggets beat the Jazz. The loss put the Nuggets in a 3-1 series hole, but if you think Murray was discouraged by that, think again, as the Canadians' shooting hand was as hot as ever. Game 5. Before we get to Murray, first, Nikola Jokic putting his team on his back early in this one. First quarter, Jokic puts it on the floor. Great move inside to split for the floater. Jokic over 25 points per game in the series, doing everything he can in the first to try to avoid a Game 5 playoff exit. Jokic a perfect 8 of 8 with 21 points in the quarter. He finished up with 31. Let's skip to the third. Jamal Murray taking over here. Nuggets down by 12. Murray nowhere to go, but he breaks loose, takes the feed and finishes the reverse, coming off a 50-point game last out. Murray triggering an 8-0 Nuggets run to pull within 4. And the Canadians saved a showstopper for late in the quarter.
Murray. Oh my gosh! Jamal Murray with a 360 spinner.
He had 17 points in the frame. Nuggets down 4 after 3. Donovan Mitchell coming off a 51-point performance of his own, fighting off the Nuggets comeback.
After that last hug, nasty.
Mitchell and Murray going to war again, trading blows. A massive one-hander in the face of Michael Porter Jr. Mitchell finished with 30. 2 minutes to go. Murray coming right back at Mitchell. Shakes him with a step back, knocks down the jumper. Murray with another massive performance. 42 points, 8 assists, no turnovers. He is the first player in NBA playoff history with consecutive games of 40-plus points and 0 turnovers. The Nuggets forced a Game 6. So with his 42-point game on Tuesday, Murray became just the 5th player in NBA history to follow a 50-point game with a 40-point game. He is the first to do it since Michael Jordan did it for a 3rd time 27 years ago.
Mavs and Clippers, Game 5 series tied at 2. Paul George shooting 21% over the last 3 games. On Tuesday, he shot 12 of 18 from the field, 7 for 7 from the line, scored 35 points. That's 1 more point than his last 3 games combined. Luka Doncic hampered by his ankle injury as a sprained ankle. He limped for much of the game. Doncic was 6 for 17 from the field and was a minus 23. Third quarter, this is a bit of a controversial play because Marcus Morris steps on Luka's injured ankle. Yeah. That is not by accident. Midway through the third, Tim Hardaway Jr. Yeah, Luka wondering why there was no call. Tim Hardaway Jr. drives, turns, and one. Paul George doesn't like the call. After Hardaway gets the ball for the free throw, Clippers challenge, and it's granted. So Mavs coach Rick Carlisle, in a sense, he's like, no, do you guys not know the rules? And then he gets a technical, he gets tossed, and then he collapses in the ref's face. Mavs are blown out as the Clippers take a 3-2 series lead.
I ask all the fans on the nickel.
I was just in a dark place. I really wasn't here. I checked out. So these past couple games, it was just difficult. But you know, shout out to people that stood behind me, that was in my corner, the positivity, my teammates, my family, friends. Everybody, thank everybody that reached out to me. I was just in a bad place, and I found my way. I'm back, and I look forward to the rest of this run.
There seemed to be a different spirit about your team, from the activity on the bench to the way you defended Luka tonight. What was it that clicked for you and your team tonight?
For me, it was, you know, it was just hard to get into that playoff mode with no intensity here, no fans, no atmosphere. I was lost. I thought we created the energy. I came in with that mindset that this is Staples. We at home. The place is packed. I mean, I really had to psych myself out to get up. But, you know, I thought the whole team took that and we ran with it. We created our own energy, like I said, and we decided to dictate this game.
Red Sox and Jays from the vacation capital of North America, Buffalo. It's Toronto's home this season. It's a three-game set. Bottom one, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. with the bases loaded. And he visits the Gap. The Gap, if you're at the Oshawa Center, it's pretty close to Build-A-Bear. It's a double, plates a pair. Gurriel's 100th career RBI in just his 176th game with the Jays. Where's that rank? Well, he's the fourth fastest player in Blue Jays history to reach that milestone. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. riding a 7-game hit streak, bottom four. Jays up a run, runners on second and third. Vladdy, chopper to third. Gets through, both runners in to score. Gurriel's 10th RBI of the season. 6-5 Jays in the sixth. Everything turns around. Wilmer Font allowed Boston to load the bases, and A.J. Cole gives up a bases-clearing triple to Devers. Font charged with all 3 runs. Devers' first triple of the season as the Red Sox take it 9-7, dropping the Jays back to 500.
And it's 8-6 Boston.
In Montreal, something we haven't seen in Canadian stadiums or arenas or courts in over 5 months, fans in the stands, real ones, not just those cardboard cutouts. MLS becomes the first pro sports league in the country to resume play in front of supporters, with the Impact hosting the Whitecaps in front of a crowd of 250. There were also a bunch of Impact fans outside the stadium, and the Montreal faithful got what they wanted early in the first half.
He's tied down in a little bit of space. Can he get a good cross into the middle? Wonderful ball in! Header from Kyoto! The bell can ring for Montreal Impact. The end of it.
Yes, the first time the bell has rung since March. A beautiful header from Romel Kyoto. Thierry Henry likes it. 40th minute. Emmanuel Maciel finds Lassi Lapalainen with room ahead. Lapalainen assisted the first Montreal goal. He buries the second. He turns 22 years old on Monday, and it is 2-0 Montreal at the break. Vancouver with a chance in the 51st minute. Penalty shot for Lucas Cavallini, but Clement Diop reads it well. The Whitecaps have been shut out in all 3 matches so far. Montreal wins 2-0, the final.
Florida Panthers probably saw that crowd and were like, hey, it's a good walk-up crowd, isn't it?
They were jealous.
Yeah.
Oh, Florida.
That's pretty neat, though. That's
They pulled it off well.
seeing fans back at sporting
Just to have any real people, yeah.
Yes.
No cardboard cutouts, no giant teddy bears or whatever.
Very cool.
Better. The Maple Leafs have traded Kasperi Kapanen to the Penguins in exchange for the 15th overall pick in the upcoming draft. 20-year-old forward prospect Philip Hallander and RFA Evan Rodriguez. The deal also included 3 other players. Kapanen has 2 years remaining on his contract. That carries a $3.2 million cap hit. He put up 36 points in 69 games for the Leafs this season.
I would say that we're open to doing, certainly to keeping the pick, but I think we're the spot that we're at with our team right now. We're also open probably to moving it if the right deal came along for someone that could help us now. But we'll go through as though we're going to be selecting there at 15. I don't think this is going to be it for us as we go along. And I think that the key is that we need to gain some flexibility or greater flexibility than what we have. I think that what it came down to from us was we know we've got William and Mitch on the right side there, and we just felt that we could deal from that next sort of collection of forwards, and he was just this deal we felt was the best fit for us in terms of the flexibility and the draft pick and the prospect coming back.
Leafs never got over Kapanen sleeping in for practice once.
Maybe that's what it is. Good memory. Good for you for remembering that.
Kapanen, he was originally drafted by the Pens in 2014. He was acquired in the Phil Kessel trade. And here's an interesting, this isn't a stat, but a tidbit. The trade marks the 10th time a 2020 first-round pick has been traded.
10th time.
From that 2020, yeah. No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't read it. It's a little bit confusing. Did we get it right? We should have just left it.
I thought it was way more interesting when I first read it. The Raptors are coming off their first series sweep. They're getting set to face Boston in the playoffs for the first time. Game 1, it's Thursday, and Kyle Lowry's status still unclear. He suffered a sprained ankle on Sunday. Here's Kate.
Joined now by Sam Mitchell. And Sam, we know that Kyle Lowry has a sprained ankle. We don't know his status for game number 1, but let's say he does play, but not at 100%. How does that affect the Raptors' chances?
Well, it could affect him. It can affect Kyle the way he plays and some of the things he wants to do. When he coming down full speed and pull up for those threes or get all the way to the paint and finish, it could affect his play. But the one silver lining the Raptors have, Norman Powell has been playing lights out for the Raptors. Terrence Davis has given them some good minutes. So the Raptors do have depth at that guard position. But if Kyle is not 100%, I expect him to play. It still could be a problem because he just won't be able to do the things he's used to doing.
There are so many intriguing matchups in this series, especially when it comes to the coaches. They're one of the most intriguing. I'm not saying the most important, let me make that clear. But who has the edge? Is it Nick Nurse or Brad Stevens?
Well, I'm going to say Nick Nurse because he has a deeper roster. Look, you look at Brad Stevens, and both of these coaches are tremendous coaches, and we know how good Nick is. Coach of the Year this year. We know how good Brad Stevens has done, what he's done with that Celtics program. But when you look at these teams, you look at depth. The Raptors have more depth. The Celtics are playing 2 rookies in the playoffs. The Raptors are not playing, don't have to play rookies, don't have to go that deep. So when you look at the talent on these 2 teams, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown are good, but we look at OG and Pascal, they're just different type of forwards. But I would give the Raptors an advantage because of the depth, and Nick Nurse is going to have more tools and more different lineups he can go to.
Cannot wait for this one to start on Thursday. Thank you as always, our Sam Mitchell.
Raptors basketball, Raptors basketball. Raps and Celts meet in the playoffs for the first time. Only one place to catch game 1. That's here on Canada's sports leader.
I am impatient for that series to go. I feel like I've been waiting a long time.
Yeah. Well, we don't use that slogan anymore, do we?
Which one?
Canada's sports leader.
Sure we do.
It's a good one.
Are we allowed?
Yeah.
We are. Still to come, Milos Raonic looking to move on to the quarterfinal of the Western and Southern Open as he takes on Andy Murray. Those highlights coming up next. Third round of the Western and Southern Open, Canadian Milos Raonic taking on Andy Murray. Raonic has lost 8 matches in a row to the Scotsman. First set, Milos up a break, comes forward and puts away the volley. One of those losses to Murray came in the 2016 Wimbledon final, you might recall. Next game, Raonic crushes an inside-out forehand. Raonic looking to beat Murray for the first time in 6 years. He's off to a good start. He takes the opener 6-2. First game of the second set, Raonic with a huge forehand, part of a run of 7 straight games won by the Thornhill, Ontario native. Shortly after that, Milos unloads on his backhand as well. Raonic has no trouble against Murray this time, dropping just 4 games to cruise past the former world #1 as the Canadian is moving on to the quarters.
Fans returned in Montreal. NFL will probably be the next because they're going to be doing smaller crowds, but fans in the stands.
Seemed to work so far.
Time for Who Delivered, presented by McDelivery. Jamal Murray had 9 points in the first half. You're like, well, what's the big deal there? Well, he had 33 in the second, lifting the Nuggets to a Game 5 win. He joins Hakeem Olajuwon as the only players with a 48-8 playoff game with 0 turnovers since 1983.
What an unbelievable...
That's what I would call delivering.
He is not ready to be done yet
No.
in the playoffs. The Detroit Lions canceled their practice on Tuesday to protest the shooting of Jacob Blake. They addressed reporters as a team in front of their practice facility and brought out a whiteboard with the messages, "The world can't go on, and we won't be silent."
We looked at each other in the eye and we realized that football is not important today. We have a platform that we're able to use to not only raise awareness, but to create change.
An update on Jacob Blake's condition. Again, he was shot 7 times, but he remains in hospital. He, though, is paralyzed, according to his father, and it would take a miracle for him to walk again. Just horrible news.
Time for the Jannies. I'm still not on the graphic. I need to be in there. Donovan Mitchell crosses over and then attacks the rim, throws down the hammer, dunk. A massive throw down here. Another really good game in this series between these two teams. Huge slam.
Carlos Correa laces a ball to third. It's the hot corner. David Fletcher. Great diving stab. Throw to first. Got the out. David Fletcher. Fletcher.
Nikola Jokic doing it all for Denver in the first quarter. Drills the off-balance buzzer beater. He went 8 for 8 in the opening quarter for 21 points.
They call it the hot corner. Manny Machado from his knee gets the out at first.
Manny Machado down there at third base.
Manny Machado.
Knee fires across the diamond as far as you can. Gets
Machado
it and in time to get Nola
making the play.
#1.
Hit to center, Victor Robles makes the catch, but the best part is coming up. He unleashes an absolute laser to first base, catches Gene Segura by surprise as he gets doubled up on the play. The ball was thrown 288 feet in the air. That is incredible. Amazing accuracy.
They call it the hot corner. Sorry, this is tennis. Isner returning the serve from Stefanos Tsitsipas. The ball clips the top of the net, not once, but twice, and then falls over for the point. That was pretty cool.
Similar play from the diamond. JT Realmuto hits a ball to right. It bounces off the top of the fence, then falls over just out of the reach of a leaping Adam Eaton. So close, but it's gone.
From the bounce off the top of the fence.
And the Canucks and Knights round out the Jannies because of Elias Patterson.
What a finish and what a pass from Alex Edler.
The hands of a seamstress.
Man, the Canucks. What a response.
Huge.
Right?
Yeah, after that first game, people are like, it's going to be a quick series.
They're back in it.
Nope, it's all tied. This week on the Jan Dan podcast, we talk about the greatest purchase I have ever made off of Amazon.
Time for the worst play of the day. Marlins and Mets. John Birdie on third base notices that the Mets aren't watching him, so he takes off for home, stumbles, crawls, and somehow still manages to make it there in time. Dries Familia puts the throw in the dirt, and Birdie gets in there. That's the worst. I guess the whole thing, the stealing, the throwing, it was all bad.
Yeah, a lot of bad there. Highlight of the night, Zach Bogosian, slick move to the center. To enter the zone, and then dives. So Pierre Maguire coined the double D on. This is a double dive.
Yes.
Bogosian to Coleman. Beautiful. That is your highlight of the night. You blew it. We point out our errors. So I wondered if we still use Canada's sports leader as a slogan. We do, but we also use champions live here.
Yes.
Champions.
I like that second one a lot.
Live here. And I stumbled on the Kapanen trade tidbit. It marks the 10th first-round pick in the 2020 draft to be traded. Originally, I had confused because Kapanen was a first-rounder and he was traded, so I thought it was the 10th player that was a first-round selection to be traded in 2020, but it's the 10th pick in the 2020 draft to be traded.
And now you're losing me.
No.
I just keep hearing 2020.
In my own mind, I cleared it up.
There's a lot of numbers involved in that. We figured it out eventually.
That's usually what we do.
That's what we do.
We eventually figure it out.
At the end of the show.
That's the whole purpose of the You Blew It segment.
Yes.
To correct things that we messed up.
I like the segment.
I know.
It comes in handy, very much so.
Yeah.